welcome to WTOL 11 News on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Tatiana Cash. Thanks so much for joining us here online. It was yet another cool and beautiful day. Honestly, no complaints for me when it comes to this weekend. Just being quite nice. But what happens with Thanksgiving week? We need to ask meteorologist John Burgefield. John, still beautiful or?
Kind of meh tomorrow, Tatiana. Going to be breezy and cooler with more cloud cover expected. The breeze is going to shift to the east, and that will spell a cooler feeling day. Our high temperatures are going to be stuck in the mid-40s with a cloudier and cooler start to the week. Some of those clouds are already starting to work through this evening, coming in out of the southwest ahead of our next storm system. This one's going to bring steady soaking rain on Tuesday, and there it is near Kansas City. Right now, an area of low pressure is moving on through. Here's a look ahead to my hour-by-hour forecast. Rain's going to be coming in from the southwest. It'll be a rainy Tuesday morning with showers turning lighter in the afternoon. Your full hour-by-hour timing is coming up.
Israel says it's uncovered a tunnel and other evidence of Hamas using the main hospital complex in Gaza as a command center. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to grow, and there's also talks of a deal to release some of the hostages being held. CBS News reports.
Newly released images showing what Israeli Defense Forces say is proof that Al-Shifa Hospital, Gaza's largest, was also the site of Hamas terror infrastructure. One video shows what the IDF says is a tunnel that runs over 150 feet long and 30 feet underneath the hospital. Pictures released show a cache of weapons they say were seized at and around the hospital complex. Special forces are currently working in the shaft we uncovered, this IDF spokesperson said, adding they're locating and collecting information about the hostages. The hospital complex has been mostly evacuated, including 31 premature babies who were transferred to a hospital in southern Gaza and will eventually receive treatment in Egypt. They are in extremely critical condition.
They was with hypothermia because there were not in incubators but in cot and in the beds and in not suitable conditions for them to stay alive.
The babies became a symbol of what critics call Israel's reckless endangerment of civilians. The videos released by IDF Sunday came amid word progress had been made on a deal to release some of the hostages.
Many areas of difference that previously existed have been narrowed, that we believe we are closer than we have been.
The deal would reportedly mean the release of 50 or more women and children being held hostage by Hamas. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And of course, those national reports of negotiations for a temporary ceasefire are going to remain constant in an effort to stop the bloodshed in Palestine. WTOL 11 spoke with a local Palestinian activist here about her concerns for the reality of a temporary ceasefire.
A temporary ceasefire calls for pretty much what it sounds like, a pause and then continued bloodshed. In order for any type of justice to happen in the situation in Palestine, our first step would be, again, an immediate and permanent ceasefire.
Now, there is no finalized deal yet for the ceasefire. Of course, we'll continue to update you on air and online if and when it happens. Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter has died, and this comes just a few days after she entered hospice care. Carter died at her home in Plains, Georgia, with family beside her, according to the Carter Center. The former First Lady was a passionate champion of mental health, caregiving, and women's rights. She is survived by her husband, the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, as well as their 4 children. Rosalynn Carter was just 96 years old. New at 6, across the nation, communities are observing Transgender Day of Remembrance. Since 1998, the LGBTQ+ communities have come together to mourn the lives lost from anti-transgender violence. And so today, a group gathered at Handmade Toledo to honor transgender and gender nonconforming people who have lost their lives in America this year. This tradition started after the murder of Rita Hester in Massachusetts and turned into an annual day of mourning.
I think I should just let everybody know that I want to live a long life. I'm one of those people who I'm okay with dying of natural causes, allow that to happen. Don't let, bigotry and hate get in the way of that.
Over 20 names were read at today's event, including during a rose-laying ceremony, including Amari Jean, who was a victim of a double homicide this past Tuesday. The T-Town burn down heated up things in downtown Toledo this weekend. It's the first ever hot sauce extravaganza. Love that word. It shared a love for all things hot, with vendors selling a variety of homemade sauces. Co-organizer Kevin Mackey of Angry Irishman says he was just grateful for how many people came to the extravaganza's debut.
We've had people driving in from Columbus, over by Joliet, Illinois. There's a lady who drove here from Wisconsin. She initially came just to visit family. She said she spent about an hour and a half or 2 hours with her family, and then she drug them down here. She goes, I need to be here.
Kevin is hoping to bring more vendors and more varieties of sauces next year.
We're going to turn down the heat with the forecast this week as we bring on some breezy and cool weather. Monday's not going to be quite as nice. The east breeze is going to feel brisk. Highs will only be in the 40s, and it's going to be more gray and overcast looking. Our next storm system is to the southwest of us, currently looking at areas near Wichita and Kansas City, seeing rain up towards Omaha, and that rain's going to impact us on Tuesday. Tomorrow's going to be dry, but there will be some increasing cloud cover associated with that system. Highs are only going to make it up into the 40s. Also, that east wind could occasionally gust up to 25 miles an hour, so it is going to be a bit blustery feeling. Planning out your day, mainly cloudy skies in the morning, perhaps a brief glimpse of sunshine, but if you do see any sun, it will not last long. If the kids are getting off the school bus around 2-3 p.m., we're looking at 46 degrees. If they have this week off of school, well, not going to be the best of outdoor days. Temperatures will be in the 40s, kicking off that week of Thanksgiving. Hour by hour wind forecast. The winds will be coming in off the lake, could gust to 25 miles an hour Monday afternoon. Now Tuesday, that storm system I showed you on radar is going to usher in rainy weather conditions. If you're thinking early holiday travel, it's going to make for some wet weather. 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rainfall with a steady soaking rain through the day Tuesday. Here's the hour by hour timing. This is Monday evening. There's some of the cloud cover that'll move on through, but we are expected to stay dry until Monday night when that system moves on through. Waking up Tuesday morning, steady soaking rain likely across much of the region. Into Tuesday evening, rain pushes off to the east of us, and Tuesday night, lingering showers will wrap up. Wednesday, I'm forecasting totally dry weather. That system is going to move off towards the east coast, and we are going to bring back some sunshine, but a much chillier feel through the middle of the week. Here's a look at that travel forecast for holiday plans. Dry weather Monday, steady rain on the roadways Tuesday. Take it easy, give yourself a few extra minutes. Dry weather returns Wednesday for holiday travel, and Thanksgiving sunshine is on deck. What about travel across the region? Well, Tuesday is going to be wet across the area. Detroit Airport's going to be rainy. Cleveland's going to be rainy. Not expecting thunderstorms, so hopefully no major delays. Even back towards Chicago, rainy weather expected, as well as rain in Indianapolis. Wednesday, dry weather makes a comeback, and we should see a good bit of sunshine. There could be an isolated lake effect rain shower in Cleveland, and Pittsburgh's going to see more cloud cover. But if you generally live to the west, or if you're traveling to the west, you'll see a little more sunshine on Wednesday. Next 4 days, I upped it to a 90% chance of rain Tuesday, as this will be a steady, nearly all-day rainfall event. Sunshine returns Wednesday, and the latest look at Thanksgiving Day, things are actually trending a little bit better, both in terms of the sunshine and the temperatures. 44 degrees. Yes, still a little bit cooler, but not as brisk as it was originally looking. West winds could feel a little bit chilly at times, but you'll see a good deal of sunshine for that Thanksgiving holiday. If you're making some shopping plans, Friday, 41 degrees, 29 in the morning for you early risers. Saturday, we could see a few flurries and sprinkles, and that's the Ohio State-Michigan game as well. And we do bounce back to 40 degrees with a little bit of sunshine by the end of the 10-day. Tatiana?
All right, sounds good. An update to a story WTOL 11 shared with you last week. USPS says it's working on a solution after mail delivery was suspended on a West Toledo street, saying Alameda Road had to be stopped back in July. Deliveries because of an unrestrained dog on the street. Management did attempt to resume delivery after the third incident, though. It was suspended again. The post office says that they're working to install a cluster box unit at the cul-de-sac so carriers can start delivering mail to the street once more. We're going to let you know when service officially resumes. Go ahead and catch the exclusive story on our free WTOL 11 YouTube channel, so right here. Eleven Investigates brought you multiple stories of crooks taking mail from these blue boxes, stealing checks inside and then depositing them into their own accounts. Now the Postal Inspection Service says it's cracking down on a rise in postal crime, but it's still happening. So is it enough?
That seems like a
Ronald and Linda Black are just two of the many victims of check theft here in Northwest Ohio.
They say I was minus $12. They had cleaned out my checking account.
There's also Jim Gray.
People have keys to those boxes out there, and they've been stealing, letters and checks.
They're among the dozens of cases police are investigating locally and by the thousands across the country.
Either whiting out checks and then cashing them, or taking the banking information and then creating their own checks.
11 Investigates requested police reports from the largest cities in Lucas and Wood counties. We asked for reports of checks stolen from blue mailboxes since the first of this year. Here's what we found. 7 reports from Oregon, 3 from Sylvania Township, and 3 from Sylvania. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that doesn't mean all the victims reported the thefts, and it may not truly represent all of the problem.
It's not only checks, they're taking your personal information and creating the temporary paper driver's licenses that you get before the BMV sends you your permanent one in the mail. They're creating those with people's information, just going right into banks and withdrawing money from people's accounts.
A Sylvania Township detective told me he's investigated more like 50 to 60 stolen checks and says the same box on Bancroft Street where the Blacks had their checks stolen is a problem spot where a tremendous amount of checks have been stolen. The problem seems to have started in our area back in 2022.
Police are looking for a brazen robber who held up a postal worker in broad
when we reported on 2 cases of mail carriers being robbed, one in North Toledo and one in West Toledo. They weren't robbed for money. They were robbed for their keys to these boxes.
Every postal employee deserves to walk in safety.
The problem's become so widespread, the Postal Inspection Service launched what it calls Project Safe Delivery back in May, which it says is targeting entire networks, from the robbery of employees to those that alter and then cash the checks. It says the project resulted in hundreds of arrests.
We have arrested more than 600 individuals since May, including 109 individuals for robberies and more than 530 arrests for mail theft.
The Inspection Service says it's in the process of replacing old, less secure locks with new electronic locks, 42,500 of them across the nation, as well as new boxes.
Since May, we have installed more than 10,000 of these high security blue boxes in high security risk areas.
The Inspection Service would not comment on where those areas are in Northwest Ohio. When 11 Investigates asked why customers are allowed to continue unknowingly depositing mail in compromised boxes,
they're stealing mail out of these boxes.
We were told this.
We don't want to tip the thieves off by identifying boxes. What we want to do is secure the boxes.
So right now, the worst locations in the area, the blue box at the Oregon Post Office on Dustin Road and the Sylvania Township Post Office on Bancroft Street. The Oregon PD says it's investigating 22 cases since August, which would include thefts from home mailboxes or other stolen checks. The sergeant says not to leave mail in your home boxes for too long either. Crooks know checks could be inside when the red flag is up. So definitely be wary of those things.
Yeah,
Goodness.
something to think about, especially with the holidays coming up. Lots of gift giving and mailing checks. Definitely good investigative reporting there.
Definitely. Great job.
Check that forecast one last time. Something a little happier to end our program here. Sunshine. Hope you enjoyed it this weekend because the cloud cover is going to move in tomorrow. There's going to be a cooler east breeze. Widespread steady rain is likely on Tuesday. Wednesday, we get back some sunshine for holiday travel. Thanksgiving actually looking pretty nice. You'll just need the light jacket with temperatures in the low to mid 40s and bright sunshine expected. Next chance for rain, showers, and snow flurries moves in Saturday. Overall, it's going to be a cooler trending forecast, but most of those days looking dry as well.
So you're telling me is to thank you for the fact that when it comes to Thanksgiving, things are looking pretty nice.
Yeah, it is Thanksgiving season, so I'll take the gratitude. You are going to need a couple layers, but 40s in Thanksgiving, no snow, no complaints.
Not bad. Thank you, John, and thank you for watching us here on WTOL 11 News and WTOL 11 Plus. Of course, we're going to have more tonight on WTOL 11 at 11, as long as the game isn't in the way. Have a great night.